Before I'm getting to my presentation, just want to introduce to you these two tennis players. First is Roger Federer. He's a 19 times champion, and he's Rafael Nadal. He's a 16-time world champion. So behind their success, there's some equipment that helps them like to win this much title, which is this racket. So today I'm gonna introduce to you about a tennis racket. So there's three main parts of a tennis racket. First is a handle, next is throw, and last is the head. So here is like the area of this. So you see, you have the head over here, you have the throw, and the handle. So start off, we have the head. So the head is basically is where the string is placed and create a hitting space for a tennis racket. Head size different from racket to racket. They typically fall between from 85 square inch to 110 square inch. The head size impact the performance of a racket. A larger head size will create a more power, while the smaller head size will create less power, but you have more control. Many male tennis players, they often use a smaller head size from 90 square inch to a 98 because they already create enough power, so they want more control to their shot. While female tennis players, they often use a larger head size from 98 to 110 because they want more power out of their shot. Here's the head size. Next we have a beam. This is the beam. So the beam is the thickness of a racket head. Often power rackets have a larger beam because they allow the string to move more, which can generate more power, while smaller beam like doesn't give the string the space, but you get more control out of it. Next we have is the string. The string is a when you strum up the string, you you have a trampoline like hitting surface. There are two types of string pattern. It's 16 by 19 and 18 by 20, which is 16 is cross, 19 is main, and 18 cross and 20 is main. So if a 16 by 19 string pattern, you will give a more spin to the ball, while an 18 by 20 you get more control out of the ball. Last is the bubble guard and grommet, which is this black plastic. So their main purpose is just to protect the head of the racket. The bubble guard protect the top of it, while the grommet protect the string. Next, we move on to the throw of the racket. Throw of the racket is basically the middle part of the racket, which have which start from a top of the handle and extend out to two sides. There is a hollow center of the throw just to create a lighter feeling of the racket and allow the air to move through the racket when you swing. There's two shapes. There's an arrow shape, which is pictures, and there's a box shape, which like the other picture on the right. So the arrow shape gives the racket more aerodynamic. That means you swing faster compared to a box shaped racket. But like back then, they don't have a arrow shape because this is the modern technology. They can create this shape. So if a player wants to have a classic feel of a racket, they often go to choose box shapes. Last is the handle. The handle is basically where you hold your racket when you play. Just like our shirt, handle also have a size. They run from L1 to L4. L1 is the largest and L4 is the smallest. So handle is like, it's very important, because if you choose a handle too small for your hand or too large, you will have an uncomfortable feelings, and the chance of injures yourself is larger. We have two parts of a handle. We have a grip, which is the black piece covering the handle. It provides a grip, a firm surface for your hand. There, like back then, they only have one type of material for grip, is leather. But now with modern technology, we have a synthetic leather, which also not only give you a firm grip, also create a cushion surface that like reduce the vibration of a racket. That makes when you hit, you have a more comfortable feelings. Lastly, we have a butt cap. The butt cap is basically, they just seal off the bottom of the handle, and often is the space where manufacturer place their logo and the grip size also. So I hope with all this information now you understand more about a tennis racket, and if you consider to play tennis, you know which racket fits you most. Thank you.
All right, the greeting was fine. You've got the two players there. They're actually your attention device. That's okay. It sounded at first like you were going to be talking about a specific racket, but then it became more general in nature. Then toward the end, it sounded like you were talking about something that's particular to the modern technology. So I think that your goal is a little bit fuzzier than you want it to be, but there's a good preview. The structure is easy to follow. I think your transitions between points need to be a little bit more graceful. You have a tendency to just jump to the next point. Content is nicely explained for the most part, although even with the picture I could not see a difference between the arrow and the box shapes that you're talking about there. So I think that needs to be clarified a little bit more. You have good eye contact with the audience. I think you're doing a very good job there. Your facial expressions, I think you could have a little bit more variety. Your volume is good. You need some more variety in your pitch so that there is a little bit more energy, because there's a tendency to speak in the same kind of groove the whole time you're presenting, and you need to have more emphasis to draw attention to particular things, and I think you could do that with your voice more effectively. I did think it was a little strange that you were behind the desk most of the time that you were speaking. You did come out a couple of times to indicate things on the visuals. I thought the visuals are integrated in the speech pretty well. You knew your material really well. That's helpful. And I thought that, for the most part, you seemed well prepared. All right. Thank you.